It is so wonderful to be joined by you here tonight. Thank you for leaving the gorgeous weather outside to come stand into this beautiful building hosted by the Arts Council of Princeton. My name is Brass Rabbit, and I am your host for this evening. I'm going to get into a little bit of the guidelines and a little bit of insider information, and then we're going to get started. Our theme for this evening is breaking new ground. If you didn't know that, that's okay. You can still perform. I'd love to have you up here. Just don't tell anyone you didn't know, and just continue on. No one will notice. We have a pretty rigorous timing guideline here at Story and Verse, which I know many of you know, but some of you may not. You guys have, let's say, give or take 5 minutes. You're going to do your piece in 5 minutes, but then what's going to happen is you're going to start talking before you do your piece, and you're going to say a little bit about it, and you're going to give me your Instagram handle, and you're going to tell me where you're going to be performing next, and then you're going to keep talking, and then by the end you know it, it's going to be 3 minutes, and then you're going to have to fit your 5-minute piece in 2 minutes. So you're not going to succeed in doing that, and that is okay, because I have this thing. And what's going to happen is at 5 minutes, I'm going to sit patiently over there, and I'm going to go, not to interrupt you, but just to let you know that you got to wrap it up. We have other people that have to go. So after your 5-minute mark, you're going to wrap it up, which basically means that you're going to try to fit whatever you have to say into a minute. You're going to skip some stanzas. You could try speaking faster. You could kind of do whatever it is that you see fit. At that 6-minute mark, you're going to hear the more aggressive. And then that means they're like, okay, you got to get off the stage. I'm so sorry, you had your time. So please feel free when you get on the stage, tell us your Instagram handle. Tell us where to find you next. Tell us all of the information about you. I want to know that. Everybody wants to know that. And we want to follow you and find more out. But keep in mind, it does kind of eat into your performance time. So preambles accepted, but beware. As far as content goes, we are all adults in this audience tonight, so if you have some colorful language or some powerful language, something more adult-like, some cursing, so on and so forth, that seems like it would be acceptable for the ages we have in this audience today. The only thing, obviously, is it's the Arts Council of Princeton, no graphic hate speech, violence, so on and so forth. If it doesn't belong on the stage, then obviously we all know it doesn't belong here. I am probably forgetting something, but I'll bring it up later. I also have some micro-stories too, which I will read intermittently throughout each performer. That's a way for our audience to participate without actually having to really do anything. So without further ado, let's get into our first performer. Please put your hands together for a poem by Doris, or Dee. Doris, come on up.
How are you today? Of course, I missed the memo. I didn't know we had a theme today. So if you don't mind, I'm going to be performing something that I wrote. It's called Reflection, and it really just sheds a light on self-love and the empowerment that it takes to move past some things that hold you back to get to this beautiful journey that you're at. Okay. I asked God to send someone to love me, and he told me to look in the mirror because after all of the healing, my reflection became a lot clearer. When you're no longer covered in words placed on you by other people, covered in their projections, their hurt, their pain, and their rejection, I've learned to love my reflection. I asked God to send someone to love me, and he told me to look in the mirror. He said, I'm in you, and if you stay connected to the source, you'll never have to search. You'll never have to question your worth. He said, I know if you've been through the hurt, but pain was never your identity. It was just a fire that revealed it. He took me to hell and back so that I could appreciate heaven, so that I could recognize his presence and every blessing. And once you've been through that fire, like a diamond being formed under pressure, you stop questioning your value just because others failed to see you. I asked God to send someone to love me, and he told me to look in the mirror. Thank you. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I just finished creating some content, so I'm excited about that journey as well. Thank you. It's under Vibes and Poetry. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Up next to the mic, we have yet another poet. Our next performer would like us to know, get ready to be hit in the feels. Please give a very warm welcome to Free. Free, come on out.
Yes, the artist formerly known as Puck. So I do want to start off by saying I'm trying to make writing into a kind of a side career for me. I'm doing freelance writing on Fiverr, so if you're interested in love letters, eulogies, romance ghostwriting, any of that, come see me. I also have a YouTube channel and a Spotify account where I will be publishing an audio drama version of my novel, which I published a year ago. So this is very unlike most of my normal pieces. It is very, like I said, get ready to be hit in the feels. I wrote this for breaking new ground because this is new for me. This is tapping into something that isn't new but feels new. So it's actually two pieces. One is the sequel to the other, so I'll try to fit it in here. All right. First one, Mother Wound. When my mother was younger, she played with dolls. At least I assumed she did. All little girls do, right? We're taught to clothe them, to feed them, to nurture them. It is our job as little girls, after all, to look after the dolls. When my mother got older, she wanted a porcelain doll, one that wore pretty makeup, pretty dresses, and stood with pretty, pretty posture. Something she could put on a high shelf for everyone to see. Something others would be proud of so that she could be proud of herself. Something perfect. Instead, she got me. I hated makeup. Dresses made me uncomfortable. I have scoliosis. I can't sit still long enough to be put up on a shelf, so no one was allowed to see me. Others were proud of me. Teachers adored me. Principals favored me. My peers were in awe of and afraid of me. But my mother taught me that I couldn't be proud of myself because I wasn't perfect. When I was little, I played with dolls. I know this about myself because I specifically remember picking out the best outfits, the most interesting food, and giving the best cuddles. Every doll had their own name. They told me so. They had to have a name. I knew it when I looked at their little faces. Don't neglect me, they told me. Feed me, love me, never leave me. When I got older, I sold my dolls. I left them. Because I don't need a doll. I don't need to take away someone else's agency to make myself feel empowered. I don't need to push them to do better than their best to hide from the fact that I'm too afraid to reach my own full potential. I don't need a fucking doll. But I do want to be a mom someday. Her name, it'll be Lana. She told me so. Poem. Second poem, Mother Wounded. Dear Mom, I know you're in pain. You don't show it with your words, but instead lack thereof. You use your actions and your behavior to hide it, but anyone with eyes can see the scars on your soul. You're hurting, you're troubled, you're tired. Being raised by a mother who made it your job to take care of her and everyone else around you, that's rough. I would know. Dear Mom, you did your best with me and with my siblings. I know you did. I know you spent hours crying alone, possibly having panic attacks, unable to share your feelings with anyone, terrified that you were failing as a mother. You didn't fail, but you were not perfect. No one is a perfect mother. There is no such thing. Because to be perfect means lack of potential, stagnation in growth, nowhere to go but down. You weren't at the top all the time. You fluctuated. Like an inner tube bobbing up and down along our favorite lazy river in Wildwood. You had your highs and you had your lows. We all do. Your highs were amazing. You somehow navigated a traumatic breakup, an emotionally abusive partner, and 2 to 3 jobs at a time. You survived my father leaving you alone with me when I was 3. You worked so hard to make sure I had good grades, good teeth, and a good home. You made sure I knew who I was and my worth and my value and my potential. Your highs were amazing. But your lows, we need to talk about those. I will never be able to trust myself fully because I was not given that skill set as a child. I will never be able to trust someone else when they say they're fine because I noticed an avoidance of eye contact and a slight elevation in tone. I will never trust someone when they say they love me because I'm too busy waiting for them to abandon me, though that last one may be my father's doing. Dear Mom, why did you raise me like this? Dear Mom, how do I live life like this? Dear Mom, what do you have to say for yourself? Dear Mom, I forgive you. I do. I forgive you for everything you've done and everything you haven't. Because you taught me, Mom, that holding grudges is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. I refuse the poison, and I refuse to await your death out of bitterness and spite. And so I forgive you, but I will never, ever forget it, any of it. I can't.
All right, we have our first micro story. Tell us about a time you took a bold first step. I approached a random pretty woman who was walking in the woods and asked her what she was doing. Chatted her up, got her number, lost it, found it twice over the years, then married her. Best bold step ever. All right, up next to the mic, please give a very warm welcome to Samir. Samir, come on up.
Good evening. I can't drop my phone after I finish reading it. Okay, this is called Living in Love. You may have no latent or obvious talents, nor any significant intellect, or good fortune or agreeable circumstances, no loving family or friends. But the one thing you always have is the ability to live in universal love for everything and everybody. Knowing that to love is to live, there will be a dramatic change in fortune. Almost a magical transformation takes place. No one knows why. It could be the bestowal of divine grace, also known as the whole world loves a lover of humankind. And life turns around. Friends are attracted to, they become family, and smartness develops as providence bestows its lot too. Even if situations don't change, the realization of what love is and its influence becomes its own reward. And as you start progressing toward enlightenment, it becomes immaterial what accrues to oneself. The path is right and true, and all trappings become inconsequential as you begin to break new ground. Thank you.
next to the mic for yet another poem. Please give a very warm round of applause for, yes, and bless you, for Woody Karski-Wilson. Woody, come on up.
Hi, I'm Woody Karski-Wilson, and I wrote a poem story a couple years ago about an evil interstellar corporation called Extractor VPX. It kills planets to get resources, murdering any indigenous population in the way. It embodies capitalism itself, whose crime is in the name. Capital before people, every single time. Groundbreaker. See what I did there? Okay. Mother Goddess, I have a headache, could break a friggin' rock. I'm freezing cold from my tits to my socks. What the hell is the deal? I must weigh a ton. I can't move and there's no moon, just a weird-ass sun. If it pleases you for me to interrupt, I'm Chip Chipley and I am corrupt. The latest generation AI in the land, they made me in the image of man. I steal, I lie, and I will certainly kill. But not if no one is paying the bill. So see that icon, the one with the thumb? Please press it to engage me, and don't be dumb because they stripped your memories while adding something new, which I can shortly explain to you if I am employed, which right now I am not. Drop the volume, Chipley Von Chipster. I'm a durable girl, an earthborn hipster, but there's a limit to the love with no need to push and shove. So here's my thumb, and there's your approval. Screw me once, and it's your removal. Ah, a threat. But remember, we're equals. One bad report from me, and you'll have no sequel. That's cool. No worries. Breathe a sigh of relief. Just tell me what's happening, and please be brief. I'll honor your request. It's really very simple. 15 years ago, you had cute dimples. And wait, what? No, it's true. A little in-turning of the mouth, a cheek trending north instead of south. Some manly exec on earth thought you were hot. Screw him. I like women. Well, apparently not in his world. You were the sweetest honey which he could get because he had money. He could get bitch slapped, or you could get kidnapped, which is what he did, kidnapped your ass. So he skipped the carrot and used the stick. Can you please direct me to that scumbag prick? It would be difficult as he is long dead. He fought the wrong rival and therefore bled. His assets were investments, a house and some gold, but his debts were many, and so you were sold. Anyway, now you work for Extractor VPX. Ripping up planets for them is like sex, except there's no limit, no finesse, and no red tape. Never consensual, more like planetary rape. So why am I here? Where is here? I will explain, have no fear. You are orbiting a planet close to a massive extractor nest in a little bitty ship. In fact, it's best to call this ship a closet or a pod. You're an altered human with a lot of mods. During years sleeping in transit, you learned valuable skills. It's the only way you can pay your bills. My bills? I was fucking taken. I'm sorry, Miss Thang, but you are mistaken. Indentured by possession. That's a legal term which makes those who are honest wriggle and squirm, but this modern world is still tooth and claw, and the term still stands in a court of law. Fuck me. I agree. Not to be completely lewd, but you, my dear, are completely screwed. I'll escape to a planet away from their fleet. Then where will you run? You don't have any feet. Then I'll kneel, not stand, but punch them in the... Nothing, since you have no hands. But I have some sensation. Nope, just a body simulation. You're a brain and a brew on a ship with no crew. And all that remains is, what will you do? This is a nightmare. This is hell. I'm barely human, just a metal shell. Mere semantics. You were trapped in a pod instead of trapped in a bod. You connect with wired mesh instead of using flesh. A bit aftermarket, that much is true. But when it comes to soul, you is still you. So what will you do? What will I do? No, God damn them, what should I do? Now that is the question. Allow me to explain just how sloppy VPX security protocols are this far out on the mighty frontier. In today's news, Extractor VPX lost the entire resource extraction apparatus for planet 1134b when a human-enabled pod directed its groundbreaker railguns to obliterate VPX's extractor nest and local fleet before turning those groundbreakers on its own pod. It is the first time a human-enabled pod has gone rogue. Breaking new ground, indeed. Here is the final transmission from that pod sent through secure whistleblower channels. It's a retro rap song by a group calling itself Chipley Von Chipster and the Rebels. Same shit, different planet, feet of clay and head of granite. Break new ground on pristine land. We all know where your ethics land. Bend to the dollar with a heavy sigh. Build the graveyard where morals die, where mothers cry, corporations lie. We could all do better, but we don't fucking try. Except some hold firm, and don't you know one angry little pod slave just said no. Had a heart of good intentions that she would not sell, so she blew VPX straight down to hell. Power to the people, so show some pride and flex. Now do the right thing and fuck VPX. Thank you.
All right, for those of you who are just joining us, if anybody happens to have a little piece of paper in their pocket and they're like, I thought I was going to put this in there and I don't know if I want to perform, feel free to just run whatever paper you have up to me up here discreetly. If you threw it into the little gray container back there, I just might not grab it, so you've been warned. All right, up next. Well, tell us about a time you took a bold first step. I moved out of state with nothing in my bank account but 15 cents, no job, and one hope to find peace of mind. Wow. All right, up next to the mic, please give a very warm welcome to Priyanki. Priyanki, come on up.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. I have to give, before I read my poem, say a little bit. It'll be under 5 minutes for sure. So it's about tonight's theme. When I heard breaking new ground. So when I first saw the theme, I immediately thought of a question that my son used to ask me. Mama, you should find your thing. And at that time, I didn't know what that thing was. I loved writing in my journals and on my blog, but I never imagined that one day I would publish a poetry book. I'm so grateful that both my son and my husband encouraged me to do something for myself and continue to support me every day. Without their love and encouragement, I may never have dug deep enough to break new ground within myself. This week actually marks 1 year since my first book, Let Your Thoughts Fly, was published. Around that time, actually, a thought struck me. Like, if you remove the letters R, B, and L from the word problems, you're left with poems. I love that idea because it reminded me that sometimes a small shift in perspective can change the way we see things. What I didn't expect was how much poetry would add to my life, not just through writing, but through the people, stories, and communities it brought me to. So this piece is about discovering that sometimes what we are searching for has been with us all along. I'm not sure of the title yet, but right now I'm naming it The Heart of an Artichoke. The tender center, reached only after peeling away the layers. The heart of an artichoke is the best part. That's what we believe, right? I believed it too for a long time. Then I started thinking about my own life. The layers came one by one, some chosen, some given, each leaving a trace behind. While I enjoyed the seasons of being a mother, my son would often say, Mama, you should find your thing. I would smile. What thing? My days were already full. There were stories to listen to, dreams to encourage, problems to solve. I wasn't looking for anything else. Then one day, he left for college. His question did not. What thing? I searched for the answer. It led to more questions. I slept beside them. and woke in the middle of the night. And one such night, when the thoughts caught me off guard and I started writing, I realized the answer had been with me all along. Old diaries, half-written thoughts, words that arrived without any bell and refused to leave. The ground had been turning beneath my feet for years. I was so busy admiring the bloom, I almost missed the season spent preparing the soil. The sweet experiences, the bitter ones, the joys that softened me, the challenges that strengthened me, the people who believed in me before I believed in myself. All of them settling gently into the ground, finding their way into the heart. Now, when I think of an artichoke, I wonder if we misunderstand it. The heart is not what remains after the layers are removed. The heart is what the layers create. Every layer necessary. And when I finally reach mine, I find traces of them all beating together. And somewhere among them, I meet myself differently. Not as another role to play, but as the heart that holds them all together. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Tell us about a time you took a bold first step. I told my crush I liked him. 7 months later, we are moving in together. I have never felt happier, loved, or more supported in a romantic relationship. That is a bold first step. Oh my God, you're making me read so much. All right, our next performer would like you to know in the anything else you'd like us to know about you section, his poem, Midlife, was just published in the 2026 New Jersey Bards Poetry Anthology. Follow him on YouTube at A. Benedict. Welcome our good friend, A. Benedict.
My nemesis. Okay. How is everybody tonight? Good? Everybody's good? Let's hear for brass. Come on. And of course, Fiona in the back. So a couple of quick plugs. I'm honored to have this poem, Midlife, in the New Jersey Bards Poetry Anthology. It's published by Local Gems Press, if you're interested. Also, next Wednesday, June 23rd, I'll be performing at the Solley Theater, okay, part of a show called Mercer Has Talent, and that's in West Windsor, starts at 7:30. Would love to see you all there, so that'd be great. Sure, that's the Solley Theater in West Windsor, next Wednesday, the 23rd. Show starts at 7:30. Okay, thank you. And of course, reading A Return from Elysium, Racing Sisyphus Up the Mountain is on Amazon.com. So, for your reading pleasure. So, past pretense. I often wonder if I lived once before, notwithstanding the many metamorphoses experienced through my travels. What grows eventually dies on the vine, to be plucked by a greater force within life's garden, devoured by the blackest of holes. After death, what happens, other than the final planning, the mourning, the decomposing of the shell that once dwelled? Does death truly define the totality of non-existence, or is it part of a cycle like samsara, or does it turn and churn like wet clothes spinning in a dryer? From the time I exited the womb, I questioned the plausibility of reincarnation, pondering if it truly exists, seeking truth with half-assed supplication. But if, and I mean if, past lives are real, I had to be a king, ruling others, or a lion counterpart stalking gazelles as I stalk knowledge and truth. Maybe I served as a Roman senator who did Caesar in on the Ides of March. Or perhaps I was a DC politician who prostituted peace for self-proclaimed power. I could have traveled the universe, lived in a different dynamic dimension, strumming Lyra's harp, or ducking Scorpio's stinging tail in the depths of space. But in the grand scheme of past life and its potential existence, does it really matter? With the way the world is right now, would I even really want to return? Thank you. When? When is it time to say goodbye? When more withdrawals are made from the account than deposits, leaving your soul overdrawn and alone? When the wedding cake knife slices into your heart, slicing pieces, spreading across dreams, memories, and tender moments, transforming vows into emptiness? When life-giving light from a tired, lazy old sun fails to shine, choosing to slumber within shrouds of clouds, preferring shadows to opposition, to illumination? When weeds wilt, overgrowing the rose bed where the flowers were plucked, given as a gift, but now burgeoning into a relationship covered in thorns. When flooding waters now surge over a calm stream, powered by a wicked and wild wind, destroying forgiveness, promises, and never-ending dreams. When you sit alone, accompanied by unnecessary blame, guilt, and sorrow, casting you as the villain, whose only shield is an old clock that tells you when. Thank you. All right, this is a draft. It's called Web of Warmth. While walking to the local coffee shop, my eyes locked onto an intricately woven cobweb filled with rich golden sunlight, gleaming in the autumn air, seemingly suspended by nothing. The owner of the web didn't ask me to come into its parlor. Entering anyway, I enmeshed myself in the crisscross string with a smile. As I bathed it in the sunshine, spreading onto every carefully spun silver strand of silk, I adored this finely crafted, eye-catching, fly-catching piece of art. The eight-legged arachnid artist smiled, welcomed me into its lair, spinning another silken string, spinning story after story about its life. The crawling creature said its name was Brian, I think. Continuing its construction, politely asking me if I wanted a cup of tea or something. I declined, asking Brian how long it takes to create such wondrous works of art. Brian said, since the sun lifted the night and the night awoke the next day. Brian side-eyed me with four of its eyes as I began strumming the web with my thumb like Eric Clapton plucking a guitar. Brian told me, please don't do that. I apologized as the sun's angle began casting a ray of forgiveness, now understanding that it was inappropriate to treat Brian's home like a toy, as fun as it was. As the wind went from a light breeze to a gust, Brian's web never wavered, holding fast like a chain-link fence must, propelling pride in this creature's creation. Asking Brian why he weaves, knowing that the delicate design would eventually disappear like smoke, Brian replied, webs are meant to be rebuilt, just like life. Thank you. And finally, quick one? This is the poem Midlife that's in that New Jersey Bard's anthology, Midlife. Some of you may be able to relate to it, by the way. I don't know who in particular. Where does midlife crisis begin? Perhaps somewhere between hills of heather and a crescent waning moon, where purple skies drift, carrying away memories and paradoxical surprise. Midlife crisis could begin down the rugged path of experiential lessons, just to the left of the great oak, constantly growing, branching out into different choices and decisions. Midlife crisis may run along the slipstream pushing you backwards again and again and again, from sadness to a spectacular sense of wonder, where you think you have swum through it all. Midlife crisis can start in the carnal desires trampled upon by the great goat god Pan within seasonal forests, blending fertility to ecstasy to the inevitable. Midlife crisis may very well begin at the gates of dawn, where a piper plays your entry into a new realm, new dimensions, and a new way of thinking about past decisions as you are guided by his tune. Midlife crisis turns out to reside on the precipice of preoccupation, presumption, vanquished dreams, offering excuses that propel you into old age. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Do you guys mind if I give you a little musing real quick? Like real quick? Okay, all right. Because so I've said this many times, but for any of you who are just joining us, sometimes, rarely at Story and Verse, we have lighter crowds like we have today. And it honestly is such a nice change of pace. And having this room packed to the point where I'm so stressed out about the math and how anyone is ever going to get a chance to go on and when we're going to leave and how pissed the receptionist is going to be at me and so on and so forth. So when there's lots of people here, it is quite stressful, and it is it's more of a, I'm really working through getting everybody on and off. So I never get to say anything. But so this is not a very coherent thought, but we're just going to run straight through it. Recently, a gentleman who I actually work for, I was in a parking lot and I was speaking with him, and we're just kind of chatting, and he mentioned, I saw you, I think, the other day on the street, just talking to some guy. And I was like, probably. And he was confused by this, and I'll give you a little bit of a background. So in the place that we're in right now, in Princeton, New Jersey, when you walk around on the street, you either have your face in your phone, or you're kind of just looking at nothing at all, but you're not really aware of anything. And in places like where I live and come from, in Trenton, your head is up, and you are alert. And you're not looking at your phone, even though I do that sometimes. But you are present, very present. And I grew up in Trenton. I've lived in all throughout Trenton. And as a kid, I was taught, and this is the social thing in places like Trenton, where when you see someone on the street, you acknowledge them by verbally. Or normally you should be verbal. You're not just going to go, because that's odd. You wouldn't do that. Every single person you see, you look them dead in the eyes, and you make really intense eye contact, and you go, how you doing? And then they go, I'm all right, how you doing? And then you go, or if it's Spanish and you speak Spanish, or you can kind of pick which one it is. I don't speak Creole, but I can try. So you pick the thing you think that somebody is going to reply with, but you have to say something. And especially as someone who, I walk to work, and I walk back and forth and back and forth and back and forth all day long. I am doing this literally constantly. And I have always been a chatty person, but now it's gotten to the point where it's I'm unhinged, because there's always somebody around the corner who wants to talk to me, and I have no idea who they are. And I will see them, and I'll say, how you doing? And then they'll go, how you doing? And I'll go, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm ready to put this down. And then they go, do you want help carrying that? And I go, no, I'm okay. And now it's started, and now I'm talking to some random person on the street. And who knows what kind of person they are? I'm just talking to somebody. And it's gotten to the point now where I am so talkative in my day-to-day life that I'm late everywhere, because everyone and their mother is just hey, you! And now I know all of these people that are on the street or that are on my way to going to wherever it is that I go. So I am consistently late. But I'm full of stories. I'm connecting with my community. I'm having engagement everywhere I go. And I actually have started taking it even to a new level, where whenever I see one of these people on the street, I'll ask them their opinion on a problem that I have. And I've started just sourcing people. And then I'm telling you right now, when I go home, there'll be 14 people outside that I can go up to and I can say, hi guys. I can go up to and I can say, hey, by the way, I want your opinion. Do you think this lip color is too dark for me? And they will all tell me exactly what they think. Even today, I was moving a planter in front of my house. Random guy walks past me. How you doing? How you doing? And I turned to him. He said, you want some help moving that? And I was like, oh, no, I actually want your opinion. And then he was like, what are we doing? And he like stopped his entire day and he spent like 20 minutes with me dragging this big concrete thing around my front step thing. It's like a stoop, I guess. And he was like fully engrossed in like, wow, are we going to arrange this outdoor space that I'm now deeply invested in? And it's something that like, people who I work with are looking at me going, what the hell are you doing? Like, just like, you're in the street, just like, fully talking to somebody, engrossed in a conversation, and like, maybe like, they don't have a shirt on, or like, they're who knows what they're carrying or whatever, and I am just like, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I will take feedback, and I will take a moment of anyone's time if they give it to me. And it's something where, like, yeah, it is absolutely making me late, and I bet all the people that I work with are kind of pissed because they know that I'm not going to be on time. But I would highly recommend that, like, even though it's not sociable in a place like this or wherever it is that you live in or you work in, try to start, like, looking at people in the eyes and acknowledging them, even if you don't know them when you walk past them, because it will just, like, it'll make your life so much more vibrant. And it'll make your day better if you need it or even if you don't. All right, so that's my rambling. Thank you. And if you see my French step, I hope you know that I'm taking polls and opinions on where you think everything should go. So if you have an opinion, I am very open to it. All right, up next to the mic, please give a very warm welcome to Daryl Holmes. Daryl, come on up. Oh, Darnell, sorry. Darnell Holmes.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, good. It's a really nice space here. So I'm going to read two poems, and they're both connected to Antigua in some way. The first poem is connected to a project that the Huntington Art Museum is pulling together, and there's going to be a presentation on June 25th where they paired a poet with a visual artist, and they're putting a book together. So this first poem was actually written for that project, and it's appropriate because the project is called Uncharted Territory, so it kind of fits in with the, breaking new ground. So I was in Antigua, and I didn't meet him, but I saw a guy on the beach carrying a guitar with no strings. So the poem is called Without Strings. A native Antiguan walks the beach with a blue guitar. He has no intention of stringing. His voice is the only string he knows. I stare at the color of the ocean on his shoulder, document the squint of sunlight in his eyes. Language rolls in waves from his mouth like an arsenal. He's lost his relationship with the ground, the sky, the wooden instrument on his shoulder, the white scarf his wife left in the ocean. I wish I could tell him what it's like to cut ties with my country. Someone is to blame for building a resort on his island. And this is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek poem I wrote for my wife, but Antigua is a part of it too. So, my wife goes to the gym 6 days a week. It is her way of getting away from me. So I book a trip to Antigua, my way of getting away from her. I'm not sure who is winning the battle, only that the ocean is blue where I'm going, and the sand the color of sugar when it's crushed. If I reach out, I will be sure that island music is pulsing in the background, that my voice has been punctured by the proof of rum punch. Who knows? Maybe she'll catch a plane to St. Kitts and send me pictures of her beach to compare. We would be close enough to start our honeymoon all over.
All right. Up next to the mic, please. All right. Please put your hands together for Rayon Cawthon. Rayon, come on up. Woo!
Good evening, everybody. My name is Rayon. I'm a poet from the Trenton area, and I want to thank Brass for having me here and everybody listening to me. But so I want to do two poems. This poem that I'm about to recite is titled "Prisoner." Prisoner 11426385592. My mind have sirens with no police coming. Thoughts kicking steel doors, begging for release. Wow, every word I speak trips over another one trying to escape. They call it mental health. I call it solitary confinement. Prisoner 114263855592. That's what I become when the screaming start. A number, a case file, a diagnose folded neatly inside a man-shaped cage. The walls don't live around me, they live inside me. Every memory have fingerprints. Every regret have a bunk. Every fear have visitation rights. And every night the voices line up for count, while I sit in the dark trying to remember what freedom sounds like. This next one is titled Turn Up. I just actually wrote it. Yeah, okay. So bear with me. The dream ain't dead. It's waiting on you. Waiting on you to dig deeper when your body says quit. Waiting on you to push harder when your mind says enough. Waiting on you to find one more step when the mountain feels too high to climb. Turn up, turn up. Your faith when doubts get loud. Turn up. Your discipline when excuses come knocking. Turn up. Your effort when nobody is watching. Every drop of sweat matters. Every sleepless night matters. Every sacrifice matters. The athlete chasing greatness, the poet searching for the perfect word, the student buried in books, the doctor fighting through another year, the dreamer trying to make it through another day. Turn up. You didn't come this far to stop halfway. You didn't survive all that pain to surrender now. The finish line is not a fantasy. It's real. It's there. It's closer than you think. and losing doesn't make you a loser. Losing is a lesson, a classroom, a discussion, as a setback, a teacher dressed like failure. So stand up, rise up, show up, give every ounce, give every drop, give every breath. The top of the mountain belongs to those who refuse to stay at the bottom. Turn up.
All right. Up next to the mic, can we please have a very, very, very warm welcome to a very dear friend, Scott Allen. Scott, come on up.
Thank you, Brass Rabbit.
It is my pleasure.
The title is in the poem. It is, what does a poet look like? Azure blue absorbing the waning hours of a hot yellow orb, cooling in striated shades of crimson and umber, rose, salmon pink, mixed on a palette that even Titian could not achieve. What does a poet look like? Every sonnet written by Shakespeare. The beginning of number 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, plus 153 more. All of the Dead Poets Society, Blake, Rumi, no man is an island. What does a poet look like? The swirling gray-white residue of a smoked, traumatized village, bombed, leaving tears, soot, and blood-soaked children, bright red, absent limbs, wailing families searching through rubble and lifting survivors, covering the dead. What does a poet look like? Fantasies of mythological figures cavorting across bucolic vistas, earthly and ethereal. Pan playing his pipes while Rubenesque maidens cavort wearing only diaphanous garments. What does a poet look like? All figures sheltered from a storm, a trembling core, a mariner's horn. Another crest breaks across her deck. Her ropes too taut, conditions fraught. Her cargo to port may come to naught. Her crew, St. Michael's, hear our prayer. Their sea this night gives a blessed fright. The candles held in every window bright. This prayer, bring our seamen safe home. What does a poet look like? Like a man throughout his youth, adults of consequence surround. Influence abounds. He pens such operas, The Magic Flute, Così fan tutti, clarinet concertos, symphonies, etc., etc. Scatological letters, one musical, a contrapuntal canon entitled Lek mich im Arsch. You can figure out the translation. What does a poet look like? A figure hunched over a table or a desk, pen in hand, a blank page waiting, staring back, challenging. What does a poet look like? A poet looks like me. Do I have time for one more? It's a little bit longer. This is called Just a Thought. Is it true climate alters, even keel today, same as the day before that? Human climate, varied temperatures bring varied emotions. Take your temperature. Laughter tempers, anger hurts. Temperatures change. Monks, it is proven, can meditate ice-soaked sheets dry. Is it love? can't be hate. What is the focus of their contemplation? To change the climate. But every day the temperature increases because the accumulation of human collective rage. Why? First, exercise yourself of excuses. No handicaps in this realm. Because science and human initiative have proven for generations that handicaps can be overcome. We shall. What is thought, what is done, and the consequential behavior affects and effects the very next breath taken. If this is you as individual, deal with it as a factor of one. Then consider her factor, his factor, and their factors. We are a collective. Collectively, heat is generating, climate circulating. Could make claustrophobia the tsunami, typhoon, cyclone, hurricane, forest fire, individuals shooting sparks of rage, discomfort, suffering. Is it necessary to ask why? Why? Exercise your consciousness. The answer to why is palpable in the zeitgeist. The world is drowning, burning in grief, in tears of lost in the flood of tears. Howls of desperation, desolation. The world's human climate is pulsing, seething, frustrated, bewildered. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have two more performers, and then we are going to make one receptionist very happy. Our next performer, I would like you guys to make an enormous amount of noise as this is their very first time ever LOL. Please give a very warm welcome to Yaya! Yaya, come on up!
I got anxiety right now, so just to let y'all know. I got, really bad anxiety. But, hello. My name is Yaya. I'm 23. I've been writing since I was, I want to say maybe like my freshman year of high school. I started writing because I had nobody else to talk to, so. I want to read two, if that's okay. I don't know. Okay. A little small. So this first one, it's my second poem that I ever wrote, and it's called "Language of Scars." Okay. It's called "Language of Scars." My suffering is just the beginning. I should plant my scars in the ground and watch them grow from me instead of against me. I plant my seeds to grow fruits of love, kindness, genuineness, and I will not let my scars hinder me. My scars have bled, my scars have shed, my scars have made me cry. My scars have fed my mind, thoughts that fought against me. Evil spirits have come upon me, darkness have lived inside me. Pain from my scars had made me flee from what was meant to make me. My mind always tends to break me, and I let people destroy me. I didn't know the power my scars hold until I overcame with strength that kept me whole. I have a story I have never told. Words have been spoken, my heart has been broken. For so long it was hurting, I got the chance to be awoken. Here's to my broken people who feel like they've been broken. I see you, I hear you, you're not alone. If I could, I would cure you. Your scars are power, the world is ours. Your story I admire, and I hope you heal and get the things you desire. I speak firm, though not many will understand me. Even though nobody claimed me, my scars have stayed on me. I'm a golden child, Black wolf, black sheep, black hair, black eyes, black heart, black ties, time flies. I will arise out of the darkness that kept me hidden. And I wish I could take away people's feelings. War scars of all the challenges I have killed, scars of victory. I wave the white flag to let go of my history. I pick up the blue flag to honor everything I achieved. My scars are embedded in me, and my pain ran deep. I know I hid it so not many would see. Some would think they weak. I say my scars speak a language that not many can speak. I walk around, I carry them with me. My scars are deep, there's no way you can use them against me. These are my scars, they weren't meant for nobody but me. I wear them proud, happy as I ever can be. I'm a soldier and my scars, they represent me. I'm a warrior, I fought many battles, my reward is me. Scars don't leave, wounds heals. Scars signify who we are. Scars hide the pain, but scars will forever remain the same. Pain gives us game. I'm still alive and my scars make me realize I'm not a regular person. In fact, I must be chosen. My scars, I wear them proud and I wear them open. Thank you. Okay, so it's one more. Yeah, I love you too. Thank you. This poem is called Is That Right? I've been told my glass is too full, that I know too much, that shouldn't be understood. But I hate when things are hidden under a hood. I need to know. Guess that's why I'm misunderstood. I value realness, genuineness, kindness. The only thought that allows me to understand people is maybe they walk in blindness. I hate when others have evil intentions, secret motives, secret agendas. Like taking a slice of cake I save for later. As long as you're satisfied, my hunger doesn't matter. Pac-Man, maneuvering through manipulators, instigators, liars, thieves. If I don't, I'll be easily deceived. That's the goal those imposters want to achieve. What makes me more mad is you didn't even have to bother me. I can't understand lying to me when I handle the truth cleanly. Others deal with it horribly, simply because they're scared of what is revealed. Nobody knows how to be honest because honesty kills. A bunch of sugarcoating, time unfolding, truths unhidden. How can humanity live with uncertainty? Being honest means the most to me. Unlike others, it doesn't scare me. Then again, why would you lie when I keep it 1,000% real? He said, people like to be lied to, yeah. Trump lies, the Pope lies. But what's deadly is telling me a lie looking straight into my eyes. There's no way your thoughts can cover themselves up within seconds. It honestly blows my mind. Wanting to know the truth behind everything that's said, he said, I'm going to be alone my whole life. How the fuck is that right? What's wrong is right, and what's right is never treated right. Yeah, my glass is full, which is why I see clearly. But maybe everybody else's glass is empty. Is that right? So much.
Yeah, nobody knows how to make this work. No, I know. Okay. All right, I have a really quick little announcement, and then we have our final performer of the evening. So, I also host and produce and run and another open mic, which is in Trenton, New Jersey. That is an open mic which is more themed around connection between poets, writers, storytellers. We have most recently created it as a potluck type thing. So you come, you bring whatever you have to bring. I don't care if it's like old food in your fridge or like new food that you just bought or something you made or not. I don't care. Seltzer, napkins, I don't care. Just bring something, bring yourself. So we meet on Sundays, 4 to 6 p.m. So like it's a different kind of vibe, not an after work thing. So our next meeting is going to be on July 19th. That is a Sunday from 4 p.m. That is at 219 East Hanover Street, Trenton, New Jersey. That is titled the Trenton Speaks Open Mic. I would be very happy if you want to DM me or ask me for any info about that. I would be more than happy to send it. It's no theme, no nothing, so on and so forth. So it's a great group of people, a little bit of a different vibe. If anybody would like a weekend activity thing to do. So, on to our final performer of the evening. Gracing this stage all the way from Harlem, please give a very warm welcome to Steven. Steven, come on up.
I wasn't going to do this until I ran into a couple of brothers on the elevator. Came to drop my grandson off at the activity across there, so he's doing some art. So, so what I'm going to share with you first, I'm going to share a poem by the Last Poets. I don't know if you're familiar with the Last Poets, but they're out of the late 50s, early 1960s. So I'm going to share one of their short poems called On the Subway. And then I'm going to share a couple of haiku from a book that I'm writing called Harlem Haiku, Cross-Generational Anthology of Contemporary Haiku and Essays from 1957 to 2027. And so the relevance of that is I was conceived in 1957, and so yeah, I'm 69 years old. This is what 70 looks like. Amen. Black don't crack. That's it. That's it. So first, I'll share that poem by the Last Poets because it kind of sets the groundwork for the era that I was in Harlem. How many of you familiar with Harlem? A little bit. All right. I was born and reared in Harlem, and so. On the subway, I saw the man digging on me, but he was hung up in a massive confusion as to who I was. He was trying to see, but you see, me knowing me, black, proud, and determined to be free, could plainly see my enemy. Yes, I know him. Once slaved for him, body and soul, and helped him make a pile of black gold. But I've broken the mental hole. There's no limit to my range. The new black man, let alone you see me riding the subway, 8th Avenue, 7th Avenue, 6th Avenue, IND, BMT, IRT. He still hasn't dug me. He stares, blinking endlessly. Blink, blah, blink, blah, blink, blah, blink. He's on the brink, about to sink. I ask you, shall I save him? Can he be saved? I'm going to leave it there. That's it. And so these haiku, they're short, and I'm just going to select a few of them. I'll select one from 1957. Little Rock Autumn, strange dark fruit, harvests abound. These little lights gonna shine. These haiku are annotated, so I don't, I'll get some feedback from y'all as to whether I should annotate each poem or just leave it where it is, but there's some things there. The next one from 1958, it's called Take the A Train to Sugar Hill, haiku. Wake up, Sugar Hill, Audubon, ballroom, bird's view. Will I soar or die? And I'll annotate that one for you. Wake up, that's 1958. That was the year I was born. And so wake up, Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is the community that I was born into. And Audubon Ballroom View, when I say Audubon Ballroom Bird's View, the maternity ward of Columbia Presbyterian Hospital is right across the street from the Audubon Ballroom where Malcolm X was assassinated. And so that's the context in which I was born. And then that last line, will I soar or die? To be born in Harlem in 1958, single mom, I could go into details. That's, that juncture. Will I soar or die? So, I'll skip down to 1968. It's called Dark Inspiration Haiku. King, Kennedy, killed. Memphis, Dallas, global quakes. Dreams and actions thrive. And I'll skip down through a lot of years, and I'm going to skip all the way actually to I'm going to skip down to 2011. So I'm going to skip a lot of years, but I'm going to go to 2011 because what I did on 2011, I collaborated and created a haiku, and so I collaborated with several people in my community, in my tribe, and this is what we came up with collaboratively as a haiku, a group of haiku. And it was to commemorate and have compassion for what had occurred in Japan with Fukushima, if you're familiar with what happened in 2011. So this is entitled The Haiku of Hope and Wellness for Japan. Fukushima, ground zero, melting pond rippled by stone, compassion endless. Spring comes slowly to the North Country, but flowers bloom. In the midst of rubble, a single cherry tree struggling for life. Roots of survival and inspiration yielding fruit of hope and unity. Those who flew with cherry trees across the pond return to rebuild roots. Difficult are the days in the new cycle of life. Grace comes fresh in the morning. Indomitable human spirit, we love, plant seeds for harvest. Thank you all very much. And the only part of that haiku that I want to annotate is that next to the last stanza, the me, we love, that came from what I understand to be I think it may be the world's shortest poem by Muhammad Ali that he did extemporaneously at Harvard when he was a guest speaker there. And I can't remember the year that he did it, but he was asked by one of the students at Harvard, hey, champ, we want to hear a poem. And Muhammad Ali said, me, we.
Thank you so much to everyone who graced the stage to perform, and to those of you who came out just to listen. There is no point in us talking if we don't have listeners, so that is a very, very important role, and thank you for joining us today. I will be back inside of this room on July 16th. I have this beautiful flyer for you to take a picture of or for you to take home. We will be here at the same time. Our doors are at 6:30. We start at 7, and we go until... our theme for July 16th is Turn Up the Heat. So you have free ability to interpret that however it is that you want. Turn up the heat. Stories, that could be about conflict, that could be about intimacy, that could be about strife, whatever it is you want. Bring it to me in July, and I can't wait to see you then. I want to thank Fiona for always recording all of our open mics and doing such a diligent job. A very big thank you to the Arts Council of Princeton for hosting us here. I hope you guys have a wonderful and cool rest of your June, and I cannot wait to see you back here next month. Thank you so much.